Hey everyone, it's Andrew. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a video doing a 2-year follow-up unboxing as well as installation of the Mosiso hard shell laptop case for the M1 Macbook Pro in the 13-inch model. If you look back when I first started doing YouTube, I actually did an unboxing and review of the Mosiso case on my M1 MacBook Pro, which was behind me. And I've had that case on my computer since that time period. However, about a month ago, the case began to crack and I was concerned that potential damage would happen to my actual laptop. And so I decided to purchase a new Mosiso case because I've really had a good experience with it so far. And so what we'll do in this video is we'll show you the current case on my computer. We'll look at any damage or wear and tear that's actually happened to the computer within the past 2 years. Then we'll unbox the new case and install it on the computer as well. As always, if you're interested in potentially purchasing this, there will be a link for where you can find it on Amazon. I just checked, the price is about $22, so it's a really cheap, affordable case, and I've had a really good experience with it so far. Okay, so this is the Mosiso hard shell case for the M1 MacBook Pro. There will be a link in the description below. So this is for the 13-inch model for the 2021 year. If you have a different model as far as size or year, double check the sizing and the compatibility before purchasing it, just because you want to make sure it fits for your actual computer. But for the 2021 M1 MacBook Pro, the link will work below. This is going to be a space gray version. This is my new one. We'll look at that in a second. Otherwise, we'll look at my current one. So this is my current Mosiso case on my M1 MacBook Pro. I put this on the computer when I first started doing YouTube about 2 years ago, and it's held up very, very well. This is their black color. Obviously, it does not come with an Apple logo. I actually just put the sticker on here just for the look of it when I first started. As far as the case, it's held up pretty well. What you can see, I haven't cleaned the laptop at all for this video, so we'll just take a look at it. But basically with the black version, this matte color, what you'll find is it'll have a bunch of smudging as far as the fingerprints and stuff like that, as far as the look, so that's kind of annoying. If you wipe it down, it will clean up a little bit, but usually the fingerprints and the smudging is pretty consistent. You can't really do anything about it. That's what it looks like on the top. It's going to be one piece that snaps onto the actual laptop, and this is what is on the bottom. So there's an air vent for where the actual fan is, and then there's some venting on the bottom, but this really doesn't do anything because there's no grooves or anything like that on the bottom of the laptop. It might dissipate heat a little bit for that, but that's about it. And then as you can tell here on the 4 corners, there's areas where it's elevated, and they actually include in the packaging these rubber attachments that prevent the laptop from sliding. They'll provide 4, I believe, and then they had a couple extras. So I had at one point like one of these tear or rip off where it was no longer attached, so I just took advantage of the ones that are provided in the case and put a new one on. So that's it. So there's, again, very similar smudges there, no damage on the actual edges or anything like that as far as the bottom part. The reason why I got a replacement case is actually what you see here is on the top part of the case, it actually cracked on this edge. So it initially got a small crack here, and then it started extending down, and this piece was kind of like lifting up and extending. And so the reason why I got a replacement is I could probably go ahead with this case, but if you look back at my old video, somebody actually had a very negative experience or review about the Mosiso case because of these cracks. And what they said was actually when they had a case or situation where the case cracked and then one of the pieces of plastic from the actual case got caught in between the screen and their actual keyboard. So when they went and closed the screen, it actually cracked their screen. And so they completely recommended against the Mosiso case because of that. And because of their experience, I did not want to take any chances with this case and having it cracked. And so immediately once I noticed this cracking here after 2 years of use, I decided to get a replacement. So that's why I got a replacement. Otherwise, the case has held up really well. As far as what comes with it, I tried to keep my laptop turned off so you can see. But additionally, what comes in the Mosiso case is there's going to be this keyboard protector. So it's very similar to other rubber designs. So it's basically this rubber insert. I believe they have two separate ones. One's going to have the actual track bar space so that you can still use the touch screen at the top here, and then they give you a separate one that doesn't have it. It depends on the features of your actual computer. I've been using this the entire time, and it basically prevents any kind of debris or dirt or anything from getting on the actual keyboard. And so if you look, my keyboard's got a little bit of smudges and dust and stuff like that, but it's held up pretty well. The only complaint I'd have about this is that it doesn't really stick in there. So what you'll notice is when you move around the computer a little bit, or if you hit it in certain directions, this does lift up. So sometimes you have to replace it. So if you kind of open it up like this, sometimes it doesn't stay flush. But I've had no issues as far as typing, and keeping my keyboard clean with that. So that's held up really well. The other thing is that if you can tell, the one complaint I have is the Mosiso case will come with a screen protector. For about a month, I used the screen protector, but when I first installed it, it had a lot of dust and dirt and debris on it, and it just didn't look good. And so I chose to actually take off the screen protector because it was just like visually not that great of an experience. But what you'll notice is because of the rubber from the keyboard, it's hard to tell now that the computer's on. You'll get smudges on the screen, and so very frequently you'll have to end up cleaning the screen as a result of that. And so that's everything as far as like my current case. What I'm gonna do now is I'll take this case off, and we'll get a general sense of how it looks underneath. So give me 1 second as far as taking it off. As far as taking it off, as you can tell, it's very straightforward. Really, you just unclip the sides and stuff like this. I have done this a couple times, but not much. I've used a similar case on my old MacBook Pros, and routinely I would have to clean it and stuff, but I haven't really done that much with this one. And so there's some dog hair, some dust, debris, stuff like that. However, overall the computer looks pretty good. So there's some dirt on the edges here where it's a little bit exposed, and then there might be some scratches on the bottom here because that part's exposed a little bit as well. We'll see when I wipe it off, but the edges look pretty good. It's probably just, yeah, that's dirt debris from it just kind of sitting on there and getting caked on, and everything else looks really good. So after 2 years of use, my M1 MacBook Pro looks great. It's pristine as far as this. So this case has served its functionality well. For $22, it's a great price for protecting your $2,000+ computer. And the only complaint is that you have to be very careful with this cracking and potentially causing damage if it were to get caught between your screen and the actual computer based on that prior review. And so that's it for the first case. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe down my current laptop, and then we'll start walking through installing the new case. All right, real quick, I did my best to actually clean the laptop as best as I can. What you'll notice is there's some residual residue on the keyboards underneath where the keyboard protector was. So the buttons have some residue there. The biggest complaint I'll have is if you see, as a result of not having the screen protector on, there's this residual kind of like residue on the actual screen. I wiped this off as best as I can, but this looks like it's going to be permanent as far as kind of basically when you close the lid and it presses on the keyboard cover, it provides like it creates some residue there that just doesn't come off. So that's something that's very annoying. I'll say the one recommendation I would have is to actually use the screen protector that comes with the Mosiso case if you're going to use the keyboard cover, because that should protect the screen a little bit from any damage from that. So that's the biggest complaint. So in general, if I went back 2 years ago, I'd say I wouldn't have used the screen protector, and then I actually wouldn't have used the keyboard cover as a result, because this is a potential issue. So that's probably your best bet as far as this. However, if you already have damage on your screen, it's probably better to use the actual screen protector and the keyboard cover, and that's what I'm going to do today. So that's it. Otherwise, everything on the outside of the laptop cleaned off really well. It was just dirt and debris. So now what we'll do is we'll unbox the new Mosiso case. So this is going to be their space gray color. It comes in this plastic casing. We'll just open this up and I'll show you what comes in the packaging. And so We're not going to go through the instructions because I've done this before, but it's going to be this vacuum pack container. I'll try to open this up if I can, otherwise I might need something to open it up real quickly. Sorry, I needed a scissor to get it open. But what you're going to find is you're going to have within the actual packaging, there's going to be a microfiber towel as well as a applicator as far as the screen protector, and this is going to be a clear plastic screen protector. That's going to be one thing. You're going to have the top case, which is going to be this, okay? And then you're going to have the bottom case, which is going to be this part here. So that's that, all right? And then you're going to have two separate keyboard covers, which, as I discussed earlier, depends on whether you have the trackpad, or I actually believe it's the model of the year. So this covers multiple year models, and so what you'll notice is here's the two separate models. So this is the one I use where there's an escape key on the top left. Otherwise, this one I believe is virtually identical, where it just doesn't cover the, it doesn't have the escape key. Otherwise, it's basically identical. So that's that. And then there's a bag. For some reason, they give you like a fancy Mosiso bag. I threw this out initially because I didn't really need it. And then, as I discussed, there's additional rubber inserts on the edges here. So currently there's actually like a foam. This is a little bit different than last time. There's actually a foam insert here. It's not rubber on these edges of the case here. That was not actually present on the old one. But what I'll probably do is see how this holds up as far as whether it slides or not. And then I'll probably insert these on top of this just because this seems like it's not, it's just like a foam like cushioning. It's not really like a rubber insert. So we'll do that real quick just because we're sitting here already. So we're gonna just put these on here, okay? This will basically elevate it a little bit more, but then provide rubber cushioning for that. So that's all four there. All right, so that's done. So that's what that looks like, okay? And then beyond that, we'll need the actual casing. We'll put the actual case onto the computer. And so what you'll find is for the bottom part here, there's going to be, this is the bottom part with the venting. There's going to be a lip here for where you typically open your laptop. You'll just basically slide your laptop directly onto this, okay? And then just snap it into place. What you'll find is there's going to be a lip on the back here, and so you just have to get it snapped into place there, which you just push on that edge here and it'll snap into place, and you'll hear it snap. And so that's what it looks like as far as the bottom part. So it's all snug and stuff like that, so that's good for that one. All right, now the top part, we might have to get scissors again, which I have right here. And so very carefully, without scratching it, you'll just open this up. Very similarly, I think this does not matter, so there's no defining edges to it, or actually there is. So there's a back edge here, okay? I believe that goes on the front of the computer. So as you can tell on your computer here, the whole back is flat, and so there's no lip for it to attach. And so if you look at your computer, the case, there's gonna be this lip here, and so that you're gonna put on the front of the computer, okay? And then you're just gonna snap it on to the edges. So very carefully, just snap everything on. And I believe it's snapped to all but this edge here. So there you go. And so just look at every edge, make sure that is flush with the actual computer. So that's flush now. So that's the actual hard shell case. That's what it looks like on the laptop, okay? And now what we'll do is we'll walk through installing the screen, which I'm gonna just do, I'll change the camera angle for that. All right, so here's another look at what I meant by that back screen damage. So what you can see is there's some like residual residue from the keys on the actual screen. I've wiped this off like 3-4 times at this point, and I'm there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm just gonna apply the screen protector. Sorry about the camera being right in front of you, but what you'll have in the actual case is there's gonna be the screen protector, and so what you'll do is you'll pull this out. There's gonna be a microfiber towel to wipe down your screen, and then this applicator here to make sure that there's no bubbles or residue on this. And so what you'll do first is you're gonna very carefully wipe this down with the microfiber towel. Make sure that there's no residue or dust or any particles on the actual screen. As best as you can. And actually with the microfiber, it seems like it's actually getting rid of those key residues. So what I'm going to do real quick is with the microfiber, I'm going to wipe this down as best as I can to get rid of all this before we install it. Okay, so with the microfiber towel, it actually cleaned off the majority of the residue. So when you turn on my actual computer, you can barely see anything. So that's really nice as far as the functionality. So even if there is permanent damage to the actual screen on the outside, you don't notice it when you're using it. Now what we'll do is we'll install the actual screen. So what you'll notice is there's going to be a couple things you want to note with this. One is the one edge on this is going to be a rounded edge. That's going to be the top of the screen. The other one's going to be like a corner like this that's sharp. That's going to be going on the bottom. All right, so make sure you get the rounded part on the top. All right, and then the other thing is there's going to be two separate tabs on here. It might be hard to read on this, but it's this one is going to be the one tab, and that's going to say please peel off this mask before application, and this is the part that's going to actually go on the screen when you peel it off. And then the other one is going to say it's number 2, and number 2 here is going to say please peel off this mask after application. And so that's what you're going to do. So first off, very carefully you're going to peel off the number 1 tab. All right, that's going to be this part, and then don't touch this back because this is what's going to go on to your actual laptop. So just peel this off, and then very carefully take your time and line this up so that it sticks on perfectly. The error I made last time was I pulled this on and off multiple times. So what you want to do is get this lined up appropriately the first time, especially on the top. And then once you have it lined up, sorry, that's really hard at this angle. Then you'll line it up on the bottom. So get it lined up on the top, and then get it lined up on the bottom. And so what you'll see here is I've got it lined up at least in the bezel here on the top as well as the bottom here, and then it's lined up or on the other side as well, and it's lined up. So it's at least covering the majority of the screen, as you can tell here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually use this applicator and very carefully push out any excess air. All right, and make sure that it's flush. Okay. All right. All right, and then lastly, what you're going to do is peel off this other tab, which is number 2, and the number 2 tab, just very carefully make sure it's not applied at all, and then you'll just peel that off. And so now you'll see that there's still, it's hard to tell there, there's an air bubble there. So what you'll do is very carefully use this tool that comes with it to basically push out the air to the edges. I'm not going to do this on camera. I'm going to do it real quick, and then I'll show you what it looks like afterwards once I'm done with that. Okay, so here is the screen after pushing out all the air. There's a couple areas where there's still some bubbles. You might not be able to see it. It's like here and a couple over here, but it's not bad. It's definitely better than the first time I actually did this. As you can tell, actually, with the screen protector on, all that residue and kind of like haziness that was on the screen you no longer see, so it's very reflective. To note, if you turn on your laptop, this is what the screen actually looks like, so we'll let it load up. There might be a little bit of shininess and glare from it, so if you have a lot of light around you, you do get a little bit more glare with the screen protector, but it definitely does protect it. And eliminates that haziness that was on the screen. So that's what it looks like with the actual screen protector. Now what we'll do is we'll just install the actual new keyboard cover. Really, this is pretty straightforward. You just slide this directly over it, and this is what it looks like as far as flush. So that's everything for the Mosiso case. So this is what it looks like: the screen protector, the keyboard cover, and the actual case itself. I highly recommend it. After 2 years of use, my computer's held up extremely well with this, and the only complaint is that you could potentially crack it and have damage related to that, so just be very cautious. So if this ever cracks and you have a piece around, as somebody commented, don't let it get underneath your screen, or be very careful with that. For $21, it held up really well. Hopefully this video has been helpful as far as a follow-up video as well as for installation. If you have questions about installation or any comments or anything like that, please post them below. I'll be happy to answer them. But if you like this video, hit the like button, and as always, you can always subscribe to my channel as well. So thanks for watching and have a great day.